Hi, I'm Kristin McGee. I'm 38 years old. I've been in the fitness industry for over 18 years. So I'm originally from Pocatello, Idaho, and I moved to New York City in the early 90s. I attended NYU acting school, and it was there as a theater major that I discovered yoga. My very first yoga class, I felt like I had been doing this forever. It's like one of those great songs you hear on the radio and you think you've always heard that song. Yoga just was meant for me. I could do a headstand my very first class. And once I graduated NYU, I said I'm going to certify to teach yoga, and I'll use this to support my acting career. So I jumped right into the fitness industry. I also got my personal training certification, my aerobics certification, my Pilates certification, and I started teaching in New York, mostly at the gyms, at Crunch and at Equinox, and doing little privates here and there. And I was supporting my acting career, but really my passion kept bringing me back to the gym and back to working with people and sharing my love of yoga and Pilates and fitness. And I was in a class one day teaching. It was a Crunch in Midtown, and an MTV producer happened to take my class. And she just loved it. And afterwards, she asked if I had a headshot on me, and of course I did, because I was still pursuing my acting career. And I went in and auditioned for the very first MTV yoga video. I booked it. I ended up leading that and then 3 more. So ironically, the very first MTV video I shot was with Lori Trespicio, who was a reality star on The Real World Back to New York, kind of the forefront of reality TV. And I find it so interesting that one of the more recent videos I shot was with Bethany Frankel, who is also a huge reality star. So I've had a very interesting career path. After the MTV yoga videos, I ended up kind of letting some of the acting fall by the wayside, and I choreographed and produced 2 of my own videos. One was my own power yoga video, and another was called Bendy Girl Yoga. I was nicknamed the Bendy Girl on the very first MTV yoga video I did. The director, Scott Mebus, was just shocked at all the different moves I could do and how flexible and bendy I was. So he'd always say, "Hey, Bendy Girl, get on set," or "Hey, Bendy Girl, come over here." And I just loved the name. It stuck with me. And I love the whole concept of being bendy. I think that being flexible, not only in the body, but also in the mind, leads to so much opportunities in life. And I think that's why my career has helped me, or my yoga practice has helped my career grow so much, because I practice being flexible 24 hours a day. I share this open-minded feeling with people all day long. I try to help them get past the rigidity in their minds, in their bodies, learn how to open up, get stronger from the inside out. And it's that I'm so passionate about, that I absolutely love. And the name Bendy Girl I just think is so appropriate. And I also wanted to start sharing yoga with younger kids. So I did the Bendy Girl for Kids, and it was super fun. I flew my niece and 5 of her best little girlfriends out from Idaho, where I'm originally from. And so these little girls are coming from Pocatello. Half of them had never been on a plane before, never seen New York City. And they got their hair and makeup done, and they were in this big production in New York City. And that was the Bendy Girl video. And after that, I felt like, okay, I really know now that this is where I'm meant to be. And I was training some really fun, interesting clients. After the MTV series, I was sent out to LA, and I did this big LA Yoga Expo. And I met a colleague there, an amazing yoga teacher from Los Angeles. And he said, you know, I have clients who come to New York every now and then. If you ever want to work with them, I'd be happy to give them your name. And so I'm thinking, yeah, great, I'll definitely work with your clients. Next thing you know, I get a phone call from Steve Martin. So I wasn't really expecting Steve Martin himself to call me on the phone and say, "Hey, Kristin, Tom gave me your name. Would you like to do some yoga with me?" I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll do some yoga with you. It was such a surreal experience, but it was really amazing because I could start developing this relationship with people from all over the world, all walks of life, from, you know, just my gym friends and colleagues and young kids, inner city kids, to people like Steve Martin. It's unbelievable. And he's been an incredible client for years. He and I were working together exclusively when he was working on the Pink Panther and the second Pink Panther. And he introduced me to the director, Sean Levy, who was also a big yogi. And I started doing yoga with he and his wife, and also his daughters all got my Bendy Girl yoga video. And when Sean came back to New York to shoot Date Night, he asked if I would work with his leading lady, Tina Fey. And I did some privates with Tina Fey. I actually did her 40th yoga birthday party, which was super fun. That's one of my favorite experiences. And in a really ironic roundabout way, especially after I'd given up the acting career path so long ago, I get a call from the casting director at 30 Rock who asked me to come in and audition for a part as Caitlin, the yoga aerobics instructor. Tina had said, oh, I think Kristin might be really good for this part. So here I am going into audition, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't been back in this spot in so long. But I just really, I think, went with it, let go, and nailed the audition. And so I got to play Caitlin, the yoga aerobics instructor, on season 4 of 30 Rock, which was really awesome. And over the years, I've, again, had these amazing experiences to work with these different celebrities, from Steve Martin to Tina Fey to Leanne Rimes, Bethany Frankel, Christine Taylor Stiller, who's just a fabulous client. They're wonderful. And the thing that I find most frustrating about my job is that I don't have enough time to get to all the people that I would like to. So I volunteer at schools, and I like to go out and work with the inner city kids at this program called the Live Light, Live Right Foundation, because it's helping children fight obesity. They happen to have one of the earliest onsets of childhood diabetes, and it crushes me. And I just love to go out there and work with these kids, and I love to work with my regular clientele, and I love to work with my celebrity clientele. I like to shoot the videos. I feel like this new app I just developed is amazing. App Session was like, you could maybe reach a global audience now if you have an app, because everyone has an iPhone nowadays. And so it's a way of trying to find out more and more ways to get out there and to reach more people, and to just show them that fitness is pretty simple. I like to just make it simple, make it easy, make it fun, make it doable. And bottom line is, everyone wants to look good. Everyone wants to feel good. And it's not brain surgery. That's not neuroscience. Really, it just requires getting up and moving and doing it consistently. So if I can get into someone's home and just help them find ways to start to, just little baby steps, start to move. And with yoga especially, it's all about uniting the mind and the body through the breath. So I think if people can start to tap into that breath energy, no one else can breathe for you. You can only breathe for yourself. When you tap into your own breath, you tap into your own power and into your own potential. And you realize that every breath you take is very special. And so you start to value yourself. So at the very bottom line, I think that people start to value themselves, they start to take care of themselves. And when they start to take care of themselves, they open up to a new world. They're able to play with their kids. They're able to scale mountains, go on hikes, do things that they want to, travel and not feel weighted down. They start to make healthier choices, especially through yoga, because you get in touch with your internal hunger cues. Then you really listen to your body and you feed it what's good for it and what feels good. You don't want to eat junk food because it doesn't feel good. And the most recent production that I've been working on is my Strong, Sexy, and Svelte line, because I feel like a lot of women that I work with, and especially as I'm in my late 30s now and approaching 40, they want to find out, what does it take to be strong, sexy, and svelte? And it's 20 minutes a day. I like strength training. I think it's very important for women to have that pulling motion, the concentric motion, for women and men, for everyone. I love the Pilates because it's all about the core, finding that really strong core muscles and like supporting your spine, supporting your posture. And I love the yoga. It's been a passion of mine forever, and that's where you get svelte, and that's where you develop that long, lean muscle tone and you maintain the flexibility. And so for me, it's something I feel like I could talk about all the time. I'm so passionate to share it with everyone who I meet. And that's one of the best things about my job, is it's opened me up to so many opportunities and to meeting so many people. The project I worked on recently was in France, in Paris. It's called Coach Club. And they're lining up coaching sessions for people to join online and have more individualized attention. And it required me going to Paris, which was so hard, for 2 weeks at a time, and meeting these amazing Parisians who just treated me so well. And I shot 30 videos in 2 weeks, so it was taxing, it was tough on my body, but it was amazing. I would go back in a heartbeat. And I went back there and did a postnatal series for them after the Power Yoga series, and a Yoga Tone series for them. Yoga Tone, I combine hand weights with yoga postures. I really feel like there is that element of strength training that's so good for everyone. But then again, bottom line, it comes back to finding center. So if you can find your center, you plug yourself in to south below you. That's your support system that rises up. You open up to north above you. That's the gifts of the universe that rains down. You find your east in front of you. That's your potential moving forward, your goals and your visions. You anchor yourself with the western hemisphere behind you. That's your memory and your past and everything that's brought you to this place. And then you end up finding yourself right in center. So once again, you're the center of your own universe. We all share a universal breath. We start to build our circumference, and we make amazing circumstances for our life. And then the more buoyant we become, the more bouncy, the more bendy we become, the easier it is to bounce back in life. So the goal in life is to not prevent the fall, because everyone's going to fall at some point. The goal in life is to learn how to bounce back. So Bendy Girl is about being bendy and finding that resilience so that you can bounce back in life. One of the least favorite things about my job, I think, is just seeing that there are so many people that have that lack of confidence and self-esteem. And no one needs enemies in life, because we all have ourselves. And so it makes me feel kind of sad almost that there is such this, this low self-esteem issues. And I think, again, it kind of stems from this lack of connection. So first of all, connecting to ourselves, and then connecting to others in a real way. I love to go in and touch people and give them hands-on adjustments and really let them feel their bodies move and grow in new ways. We are online a lot, and I think sometimes it's nice to get offline and to spend real time with people, one-on-one, face-to-face communication. I also think that it's amazing that we have all of this technology nowadays that allows us to reach out to so many people, but it's just about finding balance. And the yoga practice has taught me that in life, that it is about finding the balance. So there is the yin and the yang, there is the effort and the ease. We are always going between the polar opposites of south below, north above, east in front, west behind, and it's just about navigating ourselves in this beautiful world and this beautiful universe that we're all a part of. Here's a really funny story. When I was shooting the second MTV series, I flew out to Arizona. We were in Arizona shooting MTV Power Yoga and MTV Pilates. I was on the Pilates day, and I think it was right after lunch, and I do this move called rolling like a ball. So I'm holding my ankles and I'm rolling back and forth. And as I rolled up, I went and let out the loudest fart I think I've ever let out. And the poor cameraman, I felt so bad for him, because here he is with the camera kind of getting a great angle, and right when I rolled up, you could see, like, he just almost jumped back like 5 feet. It was so embarrassing, and it's like recorded for history now, but it's the thing, like in yoga, everyone's gonna fart. In Pilates, people fart. Like, I can't even name the number of times I've had people farting in my class, or little weird noises coming out from other ends of the body. You just don't know what's going on sometimes. Even in my privates, these little old ladies, they go up into shoulder stand and there's noise that comes out. So that's just life, that's just reality. But I think that's another thing that I love about my job so much, is you just get to be so human with people, and you see people working out, and it's not it's not like it's this glamorous thing. It's just fun, and we just get to move, and it's awesome. I would never trade my job for anything else. And the only other thing that really disappoints me is that I feel like I don't have enough time to keep learning and growing. I'm an ultimate student. I just want this like playground to just keep learning as much as I can. And there's so many times that I'm so overbooked with teaching, great workshops will come along, or master teachers will come into New York, or I'll want to go to India and try and study with some other gurus, and it just almost seems like there's just not enough time. So I really wish that there was a lot more time in my day to do everything I wanted to do. I love yoga and Pilates and fitness so much that I'm always talking about it. I actually met this boy years ago at a stationery store. I was trying to get some stationery letterhead for my business, and I started telling him all about my business, yoga and Pilates and what I do. And he said, oh, I've always wanted to try that. He was very shy. He actually has a little bit of heightened Asperger's syndrome. So he has a little personality or he's a little socially awkward, let's say. And I said, Rob, come to my yoga class at Clay. It's right around the corner from the stationery store. And he said, really, can I come? I said, yeah, sure, you can be my guest. So the next thing you know, he was my guest every single day. Like, he kept signing in as my guest at the gym. It was so cute. So eventually he had to join the gym, but he did. And he was really regular with yoga and Pilates with me 3 times a week. He lost 40 pounds. He ended up moving to Washington, D.C. When he got there, he's certified to teach yoga. He's transformed himself, not only physically with the weight loss and the confidence that he has in his body, but really yoga's done so much for his mentality, for his brain, for the way he reacts now to people. And I really think it's done something miraculous where he's no longer as socially awkward. He's got confidence, he thrives. It's one of the neatest things I've ever seen. It's a true makeover, like an entire makeover from inside out, outside in. Really special. I met my husband through yoga. I was teaching a yoga private to Teresa Hines Carey, of all people. She actually contacted me after seeing a spread I had done with Leanne Rimes in an In Style magazine and wanted to come train with a celebrity yoga teacher in Manhattan. And so she booked me for a private in New York, and we hit it off, and she said, oh, I'm going to be in Sun Valley for Easter. So was I, because my family lives in Idaho. We lined up some more privates, and while I was out in Idaho with her doing a private, she jumps up out of nowhere and shouts out my husband's name, Tim O'Shea. And I had no idea what she was talking about. And she said, oh yes, you must meet this man. This is the perfect man for you. He's my son's best friend, was just here in Sun Valley skiing. So she set us up on a blind date, and sure enough, we fell in love. And we're going on 3 years now of marriage. We got married out in Sun Valley on the ski slope. He actually proposed to me on the chairlift when we were getting our great powder run in. So it's really incredible, the journey I've been on and everything yoga's done for me. It's opened up so many things in my life, and I just think it's going to be an ongoing thing for the rest of my life. It's my favorite thing in the world. And I'll show you my favorite yoga pose. I call this King Pigeon. It's a great stretch for anyone who's stuck sitting in an office all day long, or who's a runner, because they're going to get that good stretch in their hip. But then they're also going to get the great stretch in the front of their quad. Now, I'm the bendy girl, so I can take it a little bit further and bring my arm back and come into this nice stretch here. But of course, you can even just stay with the simple pigeon, and then you can even go into a real, it's called Rajakopatasana, royal pigeon pose. I am a bendy girl. I'm living in a bendy world. I'm loving my life, full of all these amazing experiences, reaching out to people, helping them become more bendy in body, mind, and spirit. And I'll say what I always say at the end of every yoga class: make sure you remind yourself that everything you could possibly ever want, have, or need is right here inside of you. Thank you so much for hearing me out. I'm Kristin McGee, and I hope to see you soon.